Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're giving you the second part of our Week 13 fantasy football starts and sits. We're here to help you make all the right decisions on who should be in your lineup, who needs to get out of your lineup, and who's going to break your heart if you make the wrong decision. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right now.
Hit that drop. Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Football Upside. I am Justin. That is Kyle. Thanks for dropping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We appreciate it. Today, we are giving you the second part of our Start Sit questions for Sunday and Monday games for Week 13. Definitely check out our first part of our Week 13 Start Sits by clicking where Kyle's going to point. Also down in the description below. And also, hey, check out our waiver wire episode that we dropped this week. Kyle wrote a little solo on that one. Some waivers are being cleared on Friday morning, so definitely check out to see maybe who was dropped, who's still available.
Yep.
Check it out.
Yep. And, you can run through some of our past waiver episodes and check out a few of those things. That might help out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell. We're going to help you get through the playoffs so that you can win that
championship.
And if you got any questions about starts and sits this week or any other questions about, do I pick up a player or drop a player, whoever it is, feel free to ask because we're always asking. Do you need assistance? Like literally every episode we're asking, do you need assistance? Yeah, there's a bear, there's a guy, it's illegal. So all right, let's dive in headfirst into the shallow and get through these breakdowns of these matchups here. We've got 5 for you in the final week of the regular season in fantasy football, guys. This is it. Yep. This is the one. This is for all the money. Not yet, actually. I mean, that's like 3 weeks away, probably. But anyway,
a lot of people are selling out to try to get to just get in the playoffs. So
yeah,
you're gonna want to pay attention to this one.
Yeah, you got to get a ticket to the show. You might win it. It's fantasy football. Get lucky, man.
Anybody.
All right, so let's start off here. We've got Detroit at Chicago. I'll take Detroit here.
Okay.
Matthew Stafford is, I think he's a start, and he's been a decent play. Mm-hmm. He's kind of been hit and miss this season, unfortunately. I think that there's a little bit of an injury hangover to start the season, and then there was a bit of a Matt Patricia's terrible problem.
And then a thumb, I think he
missed a little time. He had a thumb. He had a thumb. His two. Most quarterbacks do. But anyway, Darrell Bevel has been named interim head coach. This is kind of his chance here.
What happened?
Oh, I don't know. Eddie P got knocked out. So, and if you don't know who Eddie P is, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie P is the fake Twitter account that, it's not a fake Twitter account. It's the, I don't know. It is. It's a fake Twitter account that Matt Patricia has, apparently. That's what they're saying.
They're trying to fact check this. And of course, in the 2020 world we're in right now, they're trying to fact check to see if that really was. So I think
I'm pretty sure it was, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
You said it yourself. What is his middle name?
His middle name is Edward. It's Matthew Edward Patricia. And it was Eddie P. And he claimed to know a lot about tech stuff or be a tech guy. And Matt Patricia used to study astrophysics or something like that. And he was literally a rocket scientist. And he kept referring to Matt Patricia as Coach Patricia. And it's either he's an assistant coach sticking up for Matt Patricia, or it's Matt Patricia. It's one or the other because nobody's out there referring to him as Coach Patricia.
Right.
Literally nobody.
Sounds weird.
Yeah, it just really sounds weird. Anyway,
sorry.
Darrell Bevel is now the guy who's going to be calling the plays. He was the guy calling the plays before, but now he's the guy who's calling the shots for the whole team. Yeah. He's been emphasizing apparently this whole week the pace of the offense. He wants to move it up, move it faster, which means more pass plays per game. All right. Mm-hmm. The one thing I do warn you about is that Galladay is not practicing. So big component of the offense's success is kind of missing right now. Yeah. DeAndre Swift is back at practice from the concussion protocol. We were just looking at this actually. And but he is out with an illness or something. Yes. He's affected by an illness. And then Adrian Peterson is talking smack because apparently he wants some carries, I guess, or something. He's saying that DeAndre Swift doesn't look like he has the same pace or speed, energy. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to tell Darrell Bevel, hey, he won't be able to keep up. He's this new pace. He can't keep up. So put me in,
right.
coach.
But somehow my 37-year-old Lades, or however old freaking AP is.
I think he's like 34 or 35. He might be 36.
Rounding up.
Yeah, to 37, like you do.
Like any normal sane
but if
does.
DeAndre Swift is healthy, you play him. You got to. He's going to benefit probably heavily from Eddie P getting the boot. Marvin Jones is a start with this new offensively minded coach, a lot more plays. And like I said, Kenny Golladay still not practicing, but he's worth a start if he does play. TJ Hawkinson, this is actually a good matchup in the passing game, will probably center around him if Golladay is out, I think. That's my thought here. You could take a flyer on somebody like Quintez Cephas, but I really wouldn't suggest it. So that's where I'm at. What do you got on the Bears? The Bears.
Bears. All right. I have David Montgomery. Finally had a good game last week. I just, everybody's been waiting for him all season long, and he finally does. But don't be fooled. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. He's a volume-based flex at best, in my opinion. This is a good team to run against. It's just I don't have that much confidence in the offensive line or just the offense as a whole. But with that, there is a guy I am confident because no matter who's throwing the ball, we've nicknamed him the Proof. His name is Allen Robinson. He's going to bring you at least wide receiver 3 value. So no matter who is firing that pigskin, Kyle. So if you have him, you're going to start him and, maybe high-end wide receiver 2. We'll see.
Yeah.
Against this defense.
I think I put that nickname out there for him on Twitter the other day, and people were like, I like it. I like it. The
matchup proof. He's proof that it doesn't matter who the hell the quarterback is. He's going to get his.
He does well no matter what.
Yep.
Doesn't matter who the matchup is. Doesn't matter who the QB is. Doesn't matter if he's got one leg. He's still going to do the job. He's the proof. Yep. All right, let's move on.
That's it, man. I got two guys. That was it, man.
That's worth it.
The Bears.
That's it. It's the Bears. That offense. I saw the other day, I forget who it was, but they're like, I don't know what the offense had early in the season, but the defense caught it. And they all got COVID, I guess, or something. I don't know. It's like a COVID-like disease. It just destroys a team entirely because they're bad.
We like to talk about Adam Gase and Jets. You got Gase, but are we? They all got Nagy'd.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying, privately for a while that I thought Nagy was the problem, actually. And I have several people who I know who are Bears fans have been saying, he's the problem. Like they hid Trubisky's problems last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you pass on Pat Mahomes and Deshaun Watson to trade up and take Mitch Trubisky, you get what you deserve.
Mitchell.
Yeah. Everybody talks about, there were 31 teams that passed on DK Metcalf. I'm like, wrong. There were 32 teams that passed on DK Metcalf because he was the third pick of the Seattle Seahawks. Mm. He wasn't their first pick. He was their third pick. So they passed on him too, just like everybody else. But that's not the case with Mitch Trubisky. All right, New Orleans at Atlanta. Here we go. This is going to be a high-flying affair, right? Wrong. New Orleans, Taysom Hill, I guess you got to start him if you have to, but at some point I'm anticipating him falling off the cliff. There's going to be a game where he gets squadoosh. Like he's just going to get nothing for you. And I think
he's getting squadoosh through the air. It's just his leads are what's keeping him valuable.
Yep. All right. And actually I saw like one of his only plays that he had when he was in Green Bay in a preseason game. And in a Green Bay uniform, he looked like he was like 40 years old. I remember though, when they cut him, when they waived him, and I was just like, actually, I think that we should be keeping this dude. They weren't going to do that. So, all right. Taysom Hill. Then we've got Alvin Kamara. You're kind of praying for a fast recovery of Drew Brees. Looks like he might have a foot injury. So kind of temper your expectations. I think you already were tempering your expectations as long as Taysom Hill is the QB because he doesn't throw to anybody hardly, including the running back. And then beyond that, he's stealing all the red zone carries or he's handing it off to Latavius Murray.
Yeah.
So there's flex value with Latavius Murray because of the red zone carries. You got to anticipate that maybe he gets a few of those. Michael Thomas, this is a great matchup. If only New Orleans threw passes still, then Michael Thomas would be worth a start. But I think that you have to be concerned with that, right? And then Jared Cook.
Oh, God.
Probably not, right? I think that there's much, much better on the waiver wire because 14 pass attempts last week. 14. So they're going to have a game where they have single digit pass attempts and everybody's going to look at it and go, we're back in 1940s football. The forward pass doesn't exist.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. Atlanta.
Matt Ryan, I would say sit him in a normal 12-team, 1 QB league. If it's a 2 QB or super flex league, you're going to start him. But that's all I see from him in this matchup. I mean, the Saints are a good defense, and it's hard to score points as a QB against them. Todd Gurley, he may be back, but this is another tough matchup. He was out last game, I believe, and I think he is practicing on a limited basis. But we've talked about Todd Gurley and his geriatric knees, and he was starting to hold up for
That's their term, not ours. That's their term, not ours.
Exactly. Isn't that Dirk Cutter's term? I think it was.
I think it was.
But it's a tough matchup. I still wouldn't start him even if he is active. Julio Jones, he's practicing in a limited capacity. That was on Wednesday, but he did not practice on Thursday. So you really need to check out what Friday's practice looks like. If he does practice, at least on a limited basis, I would have an option. I would have another option. Calvin Ridley could be that option. I mean, you're probably not rostering 2 Atlanta Falcons wide receivers, but who knows? Calvin Ridley is a definite wide receiver 1 potential. He's also recovering from an injury himself, but all signs are pointing him to play. Hayden Hurst, you still have to start him with this tight end wasteland. I mean, it is what it is. It's better than possibly a Jared Cook start.
Yeah. I think that Julio Jones has to be starting for Hurst to have real value here in this game.
Yeah, we've talked about that in past episodes. It's one of those odd ones where Julio Jones, if he plays, well, that actually brings value to Hayden Hurst. Otherwise, there's not much value there. Yep.
All right, let's move on here. We got the Giants at the Seahawks. Daniel Jones, he's likely out this week, actually. And then we've got Colt McCoy. We've got him as a start, actually. Why? Because it's Seahawks, and they, against the QB, are the worst. That's right. They allow the most fantasy points to the QB this season.
The best.
Well, they're the best for QBs. They're the worst against the QB. So yeah, even guys like Colt McCoy have value. All right, Wayne Gallman has flex value as long as he's participating in the passing game. And then I'm starting Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton, regardless of who the QB is, because it's the Seahawks and they don't play defense past the linebacker level anymore. Yep. And then Golden Tate, he's got multi-flex value actually, and Evan Ingram, just as much of a shot at the dark as any other tight end. And at least you have the upside of a terrible pass defense. So why not? And you know what? Colt McCoy might favor the tight end. He might. Yeah. Never know.
Real quick, before we move on, raise your hand if you knew Colt McCoy was still in the league.
I did, actually. Oh. I keep tabs on Colt.
Said nobody ever.
Yeah, true. True. Yeah.
Jeez. All right, Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson, also known as Russell Wilson. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and start him. He has been throwing the ball a little less these last 3 weeks, but he's still a hyper-efficient QB.
Wait, in a Pete Carroll offense, they're throwing the ball less as the season progresses?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Little tidbit that it always happens this way. Chris Carson, he was definitely eased back into last week. He was out-touched by Hyde, but wow, is he way more effective than Carlos Hyde.
It sounded way more inappropriate than it should have, that he was out-touched by Hyde. There's something about that just rankled a little bit, and I was like, no, that's fine.
You couldn't just power right through that. You were like, you know what?
No, I have to say something.
Let's make it a little more awkward. That's just our style.
Yeah, that's the upside.
I don't think Hyde's going to out-touch him this week because looks like Hyde got touched by the injury bug again.
Yep.
So he has not practicing on Thursday. So he was limited on Wednesday, not practicing Thursday. So you got to keep an eye on that. But
all these, I figured out what it is. It's all this Hyde touching. That's what
that's what it is.
That's what's awkward and inappropriate seeming about this.
Yeah.
I figured it out. Yeah.
Okay. But wide receivers, DK
Don't have
Metcalf.
to make it weird.
No. Every week, wide receiver 1, DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett, we've been saying this a couple times here and there throughout the season. We're hoping for a bounce back because he had a rough game last week. So, but you still
some people are. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't have him. I don't have him anymore. Yeah.
I'm trying to, relate to the audience, Kyle.
Yeah.
Who may have Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, but I don't think that we really had him high on our list.
No.
So, yeah.
No.
Not when we started.
No. All right. Up next, we have the LA Rams against the Arizona Cardinals. Kyle, why don't you go ahead and give me the Rams?
All right. Jared Goff is a start. He's back in QB1 at best this week, which is still pretty good. Cam Akers is a decent start as he begins to get more of the carries. It seems they're starting to finally favor him. That could disappear at any time because it is Sean McVay. Then we have Robert Woods, middle of the road defense against the wide receivers. So this is actually a good start for him, a good opportunity as long as volume is there. Same thing with Cooper Kupp. It's kind of 1A, 1B on these guys. There's no real, there's no method to the madness. They both just kind of get their targets and get the job done and keep going. I did want to note that the tight end is a terrible matchup. So you already should be staying away from Tyler Higbee,
right.
But here's more motivation to stay away from Tyler Higbee.
If you needed more, here you go.
Yeah.
All right, Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, you're definitely hoping for a bounce back in this one. It looks like that shoulder injury was a little bit more serious than maybe what they led on. But we are recording this Thursday night, and as of Thursday, he had a full practice. So I think that's a really good sign for him to have that bounce back, and maybe you see him move the needle a little bit higher. But this is a super tough matchup against the LA Rams. Kenyon Drake, I look for him to be a low-end running back too, or was last week a fluke where he finally scored 2 touchdowns, and otherwise he hasn't really done much this whole year. I know you're shaking your head. It's just like, I know it's tough. I mean, gets traded from Miami to Arizona and kills it at the end of last year, and we still kind of tempered our expectations based off what he'd done in the past. But wide receivers, DeAndre Hopkins, you're going to start the guy. But
you're going to pay for it. You're going to
pay for it because he's going to get the Jalen Ramsey against him. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
He's not been great the last few weeks. Like Hopkins really has kind of disappeared the last few weeks.
I think he's just taking so much of the attention away, and that's opening up some avenues for a guy like a Christian Kirk.
He's hurt.
Well, Larry Fitzgerald's on the COVID list, and maybe Andy Isabella is going to be coming out of nowhere. But I just
sleeper.
This is not a great matchup though because it's the LA Rams. So.
Yeah, but I think that after the second wide receiver, that I think things open up a little bit, and so I think they shut down Hopkins. I think Kirk gets some good attention as far as shutting him down too, and I think Isabella is too fast
underneath.
Well, no, he's a really fast dude. He's really fast. And so I think that in fact, what's going to occur is that Kirk's going to be working out of the slot a little bit more, playing closer to the line, and he's still going to get bracketed. He's still going to get attention because Jalen Ramsey is going to shut down DeAndre Hopkins for the most part by himself. And that leaves Andy Isabella open to some extent down the field. I don't think that the third corner or safety trying to cover that speedy guy is going to be able to do it.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah. So I think that's a sleeper pickup right there, sleeper start. All right, New England at the Chargers. Cam Newton, this is actually a good matchup, but he's like Taysom Hill with a little more accuracy at this point. It's kind of how he's playing.
That benchmark, I tell you what.
I don't know if that's if it's worse for one or the other at this point. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know who I'm putting down here.
I don't know either. I think both.
Maybe both. Yeah. ¿Por qué no los dos? Yeah. I don't know. James White, he's starting to get passing game work, so he might steal some carries from Harris as well, as he's just on the field for more plays because he is getting that passing game work. And so that makes him a little bit more valuable. The running game is a decent matchup, actually. So I think you can roll with Harris out there too. He's maintaining his carries as of right now, despite getting no passing work. So it kind of doesn't matter because New England throws the ball almost as often as Taysom Hill. So, yeah. And then Jacoby Myers is like, he's a flex value unless he gets back on pace. Not likely to happen against the Chargers. So I would suggest probably shying away from any of the passing game other than James White in this. And I think with James White, you're leaning towards needing a PPR league to really get the great benefit from James White. Otherwise, I think in most standard leagues without the PPR talk at all there, even half PPR, I think that James White, I don't think James White's somebody you're throwing out there.
Yep.
All right. So what do you have for the Chargers?
You're going to start Justin Herbert. I mean, he got you this far, but man, the play calling for the LA Chargers has been atrocious.
Everything's like a 5-step drop. Like, why are they calling so many deep passes for him?
I don't know.
The line's not protecting at all.
No, and it's one of those things where it's tough because Bill Belichick is seeing this and he's going to throw so many different things at this young rookie quarterback. But I mean, he's still very valuable on the ground as well. So you're still going to start him. You just have to. But there was a guy that came back from the LA Chargers last week, and that was Austin Eckler. Welcome back. 25 touches last week. So, hey, don't go out there and pull your hamstring again because we're going to give you 25 touches. Yeah. But that just makes everybody else in the running back room bye. See ya. No other value. Yeah. Keenan Allen, I mean, he's a floor of a low-end wide receiver too because of his target volume, and we've talked about it. Kyle, he did finally have more than 80 yards. He finally decided to keep playing and got to right on that 100 number last week.
Well, he saw what Tyreek was doing. He's like, oh, we're allowed to do that?
We can do that one quarter? Well, I can't do that in one quarter.
Well, I can't.
I can't.
I won't try.
But another guy here, Hunter Henry. Yep. I mean, let's ride that roller coaster. I mean, it's one of those things where he's had some good weeks. He's had some bad weeks. And, hey, we're talking about tight end. So let's try it on, see how it feels.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one right now.
Strap in.
Yep. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the second part. We've got another part tomorrow. So that's 5 more of the last 5 matchups of the regular season in fantasy football, at least. So we're finishing up. Hopefully we're going to get you guys into the playoffs and into that
championship.
Misclick there. So make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so that you can watch me accidentally miss the click every once in a while when we upload the episodes. You're notified too. We'll throw the first part of our starts and sits on the screen as well as our top start streamers and fades. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for being a fan of the upside. Bye.
See you guys.